Great day, everyone. Great day, everyone. How y'all doing today? This is Diamond McNulty, and I want to welcome y'all to another episode of the Overnight Success Podcast. I'm your host, Diamond McNulty, the creator of the Success Club, founder and CEO of McNulty International. And as you know, at the Overnight Success Podcast, our focus is just to do one thing, is to inspire and encourage high schoolers and college students to focus on success and succeed in life. And then also, hopefully, in the process, we inspire some adults as well and let them know that it's still possible for them to achieve their dreams in life. But today, I'm excited. I had to bring out the medals for this one. I had to bring out the medals because this one right here is
All
gold
right.
medal. Well, the one and only Dwayne Mitchell, right? So he is an amazing, when I say amazing, portrait artist based out of Georgia, right? Husband, father, just an overall great individual to know. I think that his journey speaks for itself, and he's always inspired me. When I was younger coming up, just watching him do his own thing, let me know that your gifts will make room for you. So without further ado, let me bring the man, the myth, the legend in. Come on in, Mitch. Talk to me.
What's up, Diamond?
How you
Good to
doing
be
today,
here, my
brother?
man. Good to be.
Man, I got to thank you for joining me. Just to share your story and your testimony is going to be a blessing to so many people. So thank you again for joining me. Anything you want to start off with before we get
Hey, I
started?
just want to say it's good to be here. It's a great connect back with you again. I know we've
Yeah.
been kicking around for a long time, and I love what you're doing. Always love what you put out there. The education, I mean, it's great, man. So it's good to be
Wow.
connecting with you and doing this.
Man, Mitch, you have an amazing journey. And I know that for everyone, we all have a story to tell, right? So, because you just don't wake up and actually at your destination, it's a story that you were born and raised somewhere. So, let's take it back to the beginning before we even get into how you became this amazing artist.
Okay.
Where's your beginning? Born and raised, family dynamics.
I was born and raised in a small town called McClellanville, which is between Charleston, South Carolina, and Myrtle Beach. It's a little shrimping town. I grew up there with my mom, my dad, my brothers, and that's where my journey began.
That's what I'm talking. Now, elementary school and high school, did you were you always creative? How did that come about?
Well, before I even went to school, me and my brother, who's also an artist,
Mhm,
me and him both were like just playing in the sand. We draw like,
mhm.
stick figures and stuff before even entering any type of school. So I guess that's where it all began. We just always had that, you know, imagination to just
Mm,
do things out of the box. And that was one of them, you know?
wow. Wow, because you see a lot of kids doodling here and there,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But most kids that are extremely creative, they know how to draw and they'll just draw it for free, but not knowing that their gifts will make room for them,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
connecting that dot too. So how did you find your way? Like, was high school at a great time for you? How did that go?
Well, even in grade school,
Mhm.
because I was passionate about my art and I was passionate about drawing. And I mean, I never knew it was going to blossom into something like this, but I always loved to draw. And, that's one of the things that my, teachers used to get on me about a lot because instead of paying attention to the work, I would be in class doodling. I'd be in class
Wow.
drawing, you know,
Wow.
um, I just drew all the time. I mean,
Mm.
nonstop, pretty much just draw, 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 you know.
So right there, and they say
Yes.
so some of
Yes.
those students they try to put you in a box, like if you're not uh, focused on just your schoolwork, that is something wrong with you,
Right.
but you had your gift, and throughout that whole journey you was utilizing your gift and you were developing that gift.
Oh yeah. And sometimes, Diamond, you don't. you don't recognize it as, as a gift. You just, it's just something that you just love to do. And without, I mean, without knowing that this thing can actually lead your life, you just keep on doing it. Um, I remember as a child, me and my brother, we loved comic books also, and we would read the comics, and then we tried to make our own comics. And one time during our journey, our mother was a librarian, and she would take our comics and she'd take it to work with her. And it was, I guess, one of our biggest success, because at that time, because kids would actually read our comics, and that was a
Wow.
major thing for us.
And back then, publishing probably wasn't easy. So, did mom ever think about publishing you at a younger age?
Oh, I think she always recognized the gift, and she
Mhm.
because and I'll put it like this: we got our creative ability from her. Mom was a she loved fashion, and she would make clothes, and she designed her own
Mhm.
clothes. So our artistic ability pretty much came from her, because she draw out what she wanted to sew, and then she go in and she do it.
So, mom, right there, you see in the flesh, you see mom being creative and doing the things that she loved. You like, okay, I could do this too.
Right. I mean,
So,
it's just totally relieving, because the world passes you by when you get into that zone, when you get into that creative ability. And like, just like school, I mean, I can be drawing and everything else is going on, and I wouldn't even be paying attention to that, because I'm so focused on that, you know.
mm. Now, and were there any programs or anything that could help feed your gift at that time or
At
fuel
that
you?
in grade school, the only program I would say would be our art classes, because
Mhm.
we would have classes where we do make like watercolors and play with play-doh and stuff like that.
Mhm.
As a kid, other students would look at it as fun time, but I would take it seriously, and I'd wanted to be the best. So I mean, I'd wanted to just whatever the teacher was teaching us, I would listen intently, especially if it's concerning art, because
Mm.
that was my thing. I wanted to do that.
Just like me, when I was younger, my grandmother, she used to cook with us in the kitchen. I remember the hot
Yes.
water cornbread. So
Yes.
early exposures. And
Yes.
not
Exactly.
every child connects that dot, but throughout my journey, I could continue to connect that dot. So where did it catch on for you? Was it high school when you were going into college? Or where was the this is my future? When did that click for you?
I would say high school.
Mhm.
I had a teacher in high school who, I mean, she influenced me a lot, and she really paid attention to me and really saw something in me. And I think she said within herself that, hey, this kid can make it. This kid can become a great artist, you know. And I mean, she always instilled that in me. Matter of fact, she was the one that helped me choose the college that I wanted to go to, um, further my education in art. Because at that
Mm,
time, being a kid, I didn't understand, that art can actually, you know, I can make it as an artist, or art can take care of me. I didn't understand that. To
mhm,
me, it was just something I just loved to do. And I do it, regardless if I was getting paid for it or not, you know.
mhm. But having that guidance, and that's why mentorship is important. That's why adults are important to pay attention to the youth and guide them and steer them and support them in the right direction. Because as a child, you don't necessarily know what you have in your hands, how valuable it is.
That
Hello, my name is Diamond McNulty, and I want to welcome you to the McNulty International Success Club, where we help youth and adults create their personal success plans to achieve their dreams in life. Visit McNultyInternational.com today
and register. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of y'all inside the boardroom. Now,
That's correct.
But they saw it for you. So that is amazing. Is there any advice that you'd give a high schooler right now that's going through the same thing? Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, I would say, like both you and I, Diamond, I think we recognize our gift a little bit early. And even when I'm talking to some high schoolers these days, the first thing I would tell them is recognize your gift, what you would like to do, what you're very passionate about, what brings you the most joy. Recognize that, because if all else fails, you can at least rely on that. No matter how many other jobs you get, if it's not giving you that passion, then it's not for you. you know
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
recognize what it is you love to do and follow that, and you won't be disappointed.
Even in my book, you said it perfectly, Mitch. In my book, I wrote the 5 points that I needed them to pay attention to in regards to being successful. One, identifying your gift. Exactly
Yes.
what you said. Recognize
Yes.
it. You gotta identify it. Then after you identify it, you gotta activate it. You gotta test it out a bit. you know,
Right.
is this like you were drawing and all of that? Then like yourself, you go to the next level. You develop it by going to school,
Yes.
you know, and
Yeah.
you say, okay, well, this is my thing. I'm going to develop this thing. I'm going to be the best at it. Then you monetize it, of course,
Of
and
course.
you create that ecosystem. So that's the formula for everybody that's watching. Success is simple.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it is, because if you think about it, I mean, I never thought that I would make money from it, and like I told you, you know um I would do this regardless if I was making money or not, because it's something that I love to do. So, you don't always have to get that mindset of, what can I do to make the most money? You know what I'm saying? Get that mindset of, what am I going to do to make me happy? And if you do it, if you become the best at it, the money will come. The money will come, the fame, whatever it is you want, from that, it'll come. You know,
Yes, it definitely comes, and it's a journey. You know,
it's a
it may
journey.
not
Yeah.
come. It may not come early. It may not come, but just stay the course. As long as you love what you do, you're going to do it.
Oh
And
yeah.
sometimes
Now
you got.
speaking
Sometimes
on
you got to learn. Hmm.
right. Speaking on that, there was one point in my life, I think, after I graduated from college, where you know I had this joy. I'm ready to go out and take over the world. You know, but um, it didn't come right away. It didn't come when I wanted to come. You know, but I never backed away from it. I continued to do it, until that breakthrough finally came. So don't get discouraged if thing doesn't, come as quickly as you want it to come. Just continue to do it, and it will come. You
Yeah,
know,
stay the course.
stay the
Stay that
course.
course. Now,
Yes.
now let's talk about college. How was that experience, especially different, advancing from high school into college?
Wow. College was different in the fact that now the dream becomes real. Now, uh, now is your training spot. Now is like, what you call it, boot camp. You know, um, it was because now, not only are, you could be gifted in high school, and you could be, pretty much the best in high school, but now you're along with your colleagues and peers who is just as good as you are. So you're not as special anymore. So that means you got to dig a little bit deeper, you know,
Mhm.
um, and you got to learn all you can learn, get all you can get out of college. I mean, those teachers are there for a reason. They have what you want, so pay attention and just get it.
And a lot of students when they enter college, I tell them to turn on their awareness, turn on that lens, because, like you just said, the teachers are right there. It's like they just think of a teacher as a teacher. No, a teacher is an industry professional.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
teacher has connections. That teacher can teach you things and open doors for you. So,
Right.
pay attention. Did you have any teachers that poured into you when you were in college?
Oh man, I had several teachers, and the teachers at the school, the Art Institute of Atlanta is where I went, and those teachers, most of them were professionals. They taught, and they were also professionals. They were also doing, work for businesses or companies and stuff like that. So I mean, there were some, and there's one teacher that stood out, I think, more than anyone else, and I don't think I'll ever forget him. His name is David Hanlon, and I mean, let me put it like this: this guy, he's an ego killer for real. Because what he did one day, he'd give us a project. We go home, we stay up all night doing it, complete it. We think it's great, and we hang it on the walls. And he goes and does these critique sessions. So he would go to each painting on the wall, he would pull them down, and not only just pull them off the wall, but he would throw them on the floor and stomp on them. We're like, this guy is crazy. This guy is absolutely nuts, But I mean, he was like, you guys can do better than this. I want you to go back home and do it again and bring in something that you could be proud of. And when we did that, and when we came back the next day and put it up on the wall, and all of us were kind of scared that he's going to do the same thing, but he's like, you see, this is what I'm talking about. You see, look at this. Look at the work that you guys are creating, So he's telling us to, I mean, dig deeper, never settle for mediocrity. You know what I'm saying?
I know that
Yeah.
shook everyone up. Everyone wasn't ready for that.
No, we definitely weren't ready for that. Mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm.
that gave you a new lens of what greatness looked like. It's another notch.
Right. Exactly. I mean, Diamond, I mean, you look at the people who are very successful. Those people, they may seem a little odd to most people. Those people, they study harder than anyone else. I mean, they put more into it than anyone else. Some of us, you can't give 50% and think you're going to make it.
Yeah.
You gotta put in 100%. You got to be all in if you
All
really
in.
want to make it.
Because the competition is heavy.
Heavy. Yes. Especially
Right.
in your industry and my industry. I mean, there's artists, there's chefs out there everywhere, and they're putting it out there, man. They're doing great work, fantastic stuff.
Yeah, and sometimes you gotta find a new lane or carve out a new pathway when that pathway is full too. So
That's
that's what
right.
I saw this was full. And pay attention, I saw it was full, and I said, okay, what can I do? Right?
Right.
To make myself different and better at the same time. But here
Exactly.
you are, Mitch. Here you are. So you're in college, you got your teacher that's showing you what greatness looked like.
Right.
Okay. Were there any internships, or did you just transition straight from college directly into the industry? And what did that professionalism look like?
Okay. Well, when I graduated from college, immediately out of college, I got a job um, doing like advertising, like magazine layouts, newspaper layouts. I did some work for the Crown Diamond Center. I also did some work for JC Enterprise. Um, so right out, and not everybody gets that lucky, coming out of out of art school. But I did, and I did it for a while. But as I grow, older and more in touch with who I am and the type of art that I want to do, I wanted to change that, because I love doing people. I'm passionate about, painting people, drawing people, and not like ads, or layouts.
Mhm.
So that's when I met my mentor. That's when I met Mr. Ho and Chung right there in Lenox Square. And he was doing what I wanted to do. And, I just learned from every day. I'd be at his studio every day. I never missed a day.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
I wasn't dating. I wasn't hanging out
Yeah.
with friends. You know, I was there because I wanted what he got.
You showed up every day.
Yes. Yes. And
Wow.
and that's the thing, Tom. You got to show up. If you don't show up, what are you going to get? What are you going to
Right.
gain? You know?
Right. And sometimes people only show up just to get paid.
Right.
That
Right.
so,
Right.
so it's a difference. I'm showing up because I want to make a paycheck, but versus I'm showing up because I want to learn from you. I love what you're doing. I'm
Yes.
here. Whatever you
Yes.
need me to do, I will support you. Wow.
Yes. It's good that you said it because, when I decided, or when he decided to have me as his student, his apprentice, um, there was no like charge. I didn't have to pay him. The only thing that he required was a set of golf balls, 3 golf balls. He said each and every month, at the beginning of the month, that's what I want you to give me, 3 golf balls.
Wow.
Okay, I can do that. you know. But he did that because he wanted to see how dedicated you were. He did that because he wanted to see, of course he could have done it for free, but it's like,
Yes.
what would you gain with that? He wanted,
Right.
right. So, and I respected him for that, And then after
Right.
a
You
while,
gotta
he said, no more golf balls. After a while, he told me, you don't need to get me anything, just be here.
you gotta have skin in the game too. Too many times you see where uh, when it's free, freely available to others, they don't show up or they don't appreciate, you know,
Exactly.
what's right in front of them.
Exactly.
So that skin
Yeah.
in the game matters. So how long was that apprenticeship, and were you still in advertising at that time? And then, like, how did you navigate that lifestyle at
Well,
that time?
I was in the early stages. I was still in advertising. At that time,
Mhm.
I was doing like pet products. I was doing like this lady at JC Enterprises. Her company was where she would do like pet parties. My part of it was designing the the images, the pets on like the little pet bags, the little like bags for
Mhm.
candies. I do the design on the cake. Or I do the design, and they would print it on the cake of, say, anyone's favorite pet.
Gotcha.
So that was, and you'd be surprised how many people would give these pet parties.
Wow.
That she made a pretty good living out of doing it.
Wow.
But like here again, I said, that's not where I wanted to be. So I think I stayed with her for about 2 years, maybe two and a half
Mhm.
years. And then
Mhm.
I went on with him full time, as far as, hanging out with him, learning from him. I had a
Mm.
job, another job that I did to support myself and make my living. But then I also, hung out with him every chance I can get.
And because as you mentioned, this you saw what you wanted.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Which you kept your eye on the prize.
Yes.
you, you
Yes.
didn't
Yes. And
deviate from it.
I didn't want anything to deter me from that,
Yeah.
uh, because I was so interested in what he did,
Yeah.
you know,
Wow.
um, and I think that's where young people, if they want to make it in life, I mean, you get all you can from that individual, and you become interested in what they do, um, and not necessarily to do it exactly like them, but to learn from them and then to make it your own, you know.
Yeah, because that mentor will share with you the most intricate details of what they do because they begin to love you
Oh
as
yeah.
if they were,
Oh yeah. Oh
had
yeah.
an extension of themselves. They want you to succeed too.
Oh
So
yeah.
now that's special. The next thing that you touched on that is great, and I love that you mentioned it because it's important for people to know that sometimes when you're chasing your big vision, your big dreams,
Mhm.
utilizing your gift, you may have to fund it working a job.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, the dream doesn't come without its roadblocks. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, in order to get where you're trying to go, you might have to do some other things to get there. You know,
yeah,
no one becomes it. No one does this overnight. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And you're not going to be great at it from the beginning. So you still gotta live. You still gotta eat.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You got to take care of yourself. You can't
You
just
gotta take care of yourself.
what they call them starving artists, right? That's where that
Starving
term came
artists.
from. Is that where that
Yes.
term came from, Mitch?
Yes. Yes. Starving artists. I mean, because unlike other jobs, art is a luxury. You know what I'm saying? It's something that comes when if somebody wants it. If nobody wants it, then you're not doing anything. So
Mm,
that means you have to do something else to get that money. You know, so
mm,
that's where the term
mm.
starving artist come from. I mean, you're waiting for someone to feed you.
Right,
Someone asks you, hey, okay, I need you to do this for me. Do this
right.
painting.
I see it. I see it a lot, especially in the film and television. Where the actors are waiting for their next gig.
Yeah,
And some
exactly.
of them are too. The sad thing about that though is some of them are too popular to work a traditional job.
Right,
You know,
right, right.
so it's like
Mm.
they put themselves in a tight spot where they're too popular to go do this, but they need the money. That's that's unfortunate too. But
Oh
so,
yeah.
Mitch, how did you transition? So here you are being mentored.
Mhm.
Okay, where did the big break come through for you, or that big aha moment that changed your life?
Um, I would say, after, God bless his soul, after my mentor passed away, I mean, I was doing like commissions with him while he was alive. Um, I got to do, but it was never anything really big. It was like for friends and family, here and there. And the one thing that my mentor told me was when you do a project and you finish that project, you being an artist, uh, when you take that painting to the person, do it in a very public place, you know, so that other people passing by may see it and may want it as well.
That's a
Yeah.
smart man.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
smart man. Do it in Lenox Mall, right there,
Hey, I had many deliveries to Lenox Mall. Oh yes, Lenox
right
Mall,
there.
Waffle House, the hotel.
Is there before we continue? Is there any advice that you'll give college students and new entrepreneurs as well?
Um, I would say, when you whatever it is that you're doing, of course, be the best at it, and don't hold it to yourself. Don't keep it to yourself. Let other people see what you're doing. You have social media now, which didn't wasn't there back then. But I
Hmm.
mean, get it out there. Get it out there. You never know where you're gonna go. You know.
Mm. Yeah, no, that is special. Don't hold your gift. And when you talk about social media, I gave a speech at one of the college here, and I was talking to them, and I said, "Raise your hand, whoever has a Facebook." And they raised their hand. I said, "Raise your hand if your Facebook is private." They raised their hand. I said, "Raise your hand if your Facebook in private and you're an entrepreneur." They raised their hand. I said, there's no such thing as private entrepreneurs.
Right.
Right? What are you doing?
That's right. That's
You
absolutely
gotta be
correct. There's no
seen.
such thing, you know?
What are we hiding for?
Right. Right.
What are we
I
hiding our
mean,
gifts for?
Diamond, we got so many, all this social media out now, and a lot of artists are doing great with that because back then, I mean, that's the only way I can get my art out by going to Lenox Mall. But now I put it on social media, put it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, and you get millions of thousands of people, liking your work, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um,
Wow.
use that as fuel. Use that as
Yeah.
fuel to push yourself even further, you know.
And a lot of people can see you now across
Exactly.
the world
Exactly.
and what you do. And I'm going to definitely share some of your images with the world because I don't think they understand, Mitch. I know that they hear you, Mitch. I know we're telling them, Mitch, but I don't think they understand, Mitch. You actually, the first time that I've seen some of your work in person, right? I was at Morehouse
Okay.
and Lamel McMorris, I believe he had his the unveiling where you were there. I was like, oh, that's Mitch.
Right.
Oh, that's Mitch.
Right. 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 And Morehouse, it's like I said, they've been great to me. Matter of fact, I just had a painting unveil just week before last at Morehouse College. I've got probably over 100 paintings at Morehouse College right now. No, I don't know if you've been there since they redesigned the chapel, but it looks
Mm.
really great. It looks really great. Interested in art, and in becoming a portrait artist, definitely go to Morehouse College and go to the King's Chapel and just check out all the art.
And check it out, and you'll see Mitch.
Yes.
You see Mitch
Yes.
right there. So, Mitch, let's talk about okay. So, we talked a little bit about delayed gratification. We talked about mentorship, but I want to talk about big vision too, right? So,
Yes.
it clicked. It clicked for you, and then as you get older, you have a family, you have kids. What has been your driving factor in your big vision?
My is like, you want to leave a legacy, of course. You want to leave a legacy for your kids. And me, I've always wanted to, you know, um, make my kids proud. I want to make my son proud, my grandkids proud, you know. So like the phrase, and I love you for it, taking over the world. Yeah. That's I want to take over the art world. I want to
Yeah.
be out there, and I want to just give them something that they can be proud of, that they can say, "Oh yeah, my granddad did this," so I can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He
Wow.
he showed me the way, he showed us the way, and they can do it also.
Wow. And it's possible. That's the reason why we're here. The reason why we're here is because I believe in telling your story, Mitch, that there's another young artist that's going to see this and they're going to be like, oh, that's how Mitch did it. Oh, I could do it too. As a matter of fact,
Exactly.
they may even reach out and say, Mitch,
Hey,
you
please do.
mentor me. Because
Please
mhm.
do.
Wow.
I would help. I would encourage and help out anyone who needs it, because you always got to pay it forward. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get blessed.
Mhm.
You don't take your talent and hide it under a bushel. You take your talent and you just share it with the world. And
Yeah.
the more you give, the more is given to you.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that is totally true. And I don't want it to go unnoticed too, because as we mentioned, when you were working in your career, you were working a job at the same time you were practicing your art and being mentored, and you shifted into that position where you had an amazing opportunity. How was that shift into entrepreneurship, right? As far as just learning the business, just being able to figure out the price points of your value of yourself and how to charge yourself and all of that good stuff.
Well, but from watching my mentor and from being with my mentor for many years, you know, um, I get to learn his business. I get to learn how he charges for work. And one of the things, in art that a lot of people have asked me, well, how do you know what to charge? Well, in portraiture, and I can speak on portraiture, I look at what other artists of my caliber are charging, and I try to be somewhere within that realm. I want to make something that's affordable for people, but also I want to get paid for what I'm worth, you know?
Ooh, Mitch. Ooh, that's a sweet spot right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Diamond, you think about it like this, um, you can go to a fast food restaurant or you can go to a fine dining restaurant. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So where within that realm do you want to be? You know, if you want the elite, this is fair. But you don't stay there. Of course, as you grow, you increase. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
you don't stay in the same area. Just like your
Wow.
talent's not going to be the same. The more you learn, and art is ever growing. I'm ever learning. So
Mhm. Mm. And with that too, because I like to talk. This is the Overnight Success Podcast. And like we mentioned, nothing happens overnight, but it happens while you're putting in that work overnight, right?
right.
Some people work that 9 to 5 and then that 5 to 9,
Oh yeah.
they put
Oh yeah.
they put in overtime. What were some of the overnight moments with that you spent, developing your craft? Was it creating art? Was it creating a business plan? Was it learning funding? What did that look like for
Well,
you?
for me, it was at first it was creating art. Even in school, some projects took us all night, and we'll be up like in the late hours, trying to get it right, trying to get it right.
Mhm.
And then as I become a professional, that's still within me. Um, Sometimes when I'm painting, I get lost as to time. So my wife will be like, "Hey, it's time to come up and eat." I'm still down painting because I mean that's my passion, and that's why I say it's got to be something that you love to do because time slips away when you're passionate about something.
And here you are, you were able to identify your gift, do all the great things. You went through the whole spectrum, and build that ecosystem where everyone knows you because you're that subject matter expert, but you're that amazing artist that everyone can go to because they know that you have the greatest quality. But as you said, it's not necessarily inexpensive, but
Right.
you want to at least provide a nice price point for those who can afford
Exactly. Your materials, that you use. When I first started out, I used pretty much say student grade materials, and that's just to get myself in the door. But once you get more professional, then you want to give your clients the best product. You know what I'm saying? You want to spend more on quality paints, quality brushes, canvases, whatever it is, whatever it takes to give that, because you want them to get the very best, and you want something that's going to last, you know, way past their lifetime. You know?
it. Yeah, that you're what you're doing is definitely gonna last. Put that on
Yes.
the fireplace.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
put
Exactly.
put it up there. And last question I want to touch on too is because the journey is not easy, Mitch. And has there ever been a moment where you're like, man, it's getting really tough for me? For those that are watching, it may be really tough, and they be thinking about giving up. Have you ever hit one of those uh, points in your life where you're like, man, I don't know?
Oh yes. Several times actually. The first time I think that happened was after I got out of college and I got the big head that I'm going to make it. I'm going to take over the world, you know, and it didn't happen,
Yeah.
So I really felt like giving up. Then the second time it happened is actually after I got on with Morehouse and they wanted me to do several paintings. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I don't know if I can do this. That's where definitely the overnight came in. You kick back and you dig deep into all the lessons you had with your mentor, and you just push forward. Um, so anytime when you get that feeling that you're not going to make it or that you want to give up, one, think about what it took you to get there. You know what I'm saying? What it took you to get to this place, and then think about where you want to be. Think about what would happen if you do give up. You know what I'm saying? So, and then once you answer all those questions, you would realize that you can push forward. You can get through this. You know?
Mm-hmm. You definitely can, because life is going to keep lifing.
Right. Right.
Life is going to keep lifing, Mitch. And I think that's what we want our youth to understand, because in this day and age, some of them are not really aware that life is going to keep lifing.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't.
Oh yeah.
So you got to just build up that fortitude, the emotional fortitude to overcome all of these different obstacles, and emotional intelligence too, to be able to navigate it with grace at the
Oh
same
yeah.
time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, oh my
And
goodness.
don't let another thing I would tell the youth today is not don't let anybody tell you that you can't do this. If that's what you're passionate about, you can do it. Just learn. I mean, like I even tell some artists now who are professionals who are out there, and we talk all the time. We're constantly learning. You know what I'm saying? We're constantly improving. You never give up. And the one thing, if you do get to that level where you're a professional, you think professionally. If someone gives you a deadline, you make your deadline. Don't, if you can't, then you call them and you say, listen, I know I'm supposed to get this done, this to you by this date. Can you give me a little more time? You know, Of course, you try your best to avoid that because people have already set their unveiling date. They've already invited
Yeah,
so many people. So
yeah.
always do things on time, get your work done, be that professional that you want to be.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I told. I said it, man.
Yes.
I had to bring the medal out for Mitch.
Hey man, I'm loving it, man. I love this, man. I love you, Diamond.
Love you too.
Back when we were working together, just let you inspire me, really. Taking over the world, my man. Taking over the world. I love what you're doing for the kids. Everything that you've put out there is positive, man.
Thank you, Mitch. And I used to watch you. I'm telling you, I used to be like, oh man, Mitch is and that is important for us to see others soaring after their goals and their visions and their dreams, because you never know that other person that's watching you that's younger, that's like, it's still possible.
Oh
No
yeah,
matter if it's still possible. Mitch,
definitely.
is there anything that you would like to leave, whether it's the youth, whether it's parents, or anyone focused towards success? Is there one thing that you want to leave them?
Well, my one thing would be true to yourself. Um, stay focused on your dream, on what you want to become, and don't let anything get in your way.
Oh, don't let nothing get in your way.
Don't let
that
nothing get
that
in
wall,
your way.
you go through it, go above it, go around it. Either way it go, you got the target. Go after that target. So no,
Whatever it
Mitch,
takes.
I want to thank you again, Mitch, for joining us today. It's always important that great individuals like yourself are being shared with the world. I don't think that enough stories are told, so I'm going to tell them. And Mitch is top notch, grade A quality, an
Appreciate
amazing
that, my man.
individual,
Appreciate it.
pure heart. So if anyone is interested in some great portrait arts, I definitely want y'all to visit his website. Mitch, you want to give them the website and the details how they can contact you?
The website is DwayneMitchellArt.com. You can contact me from there.
I love it. I love it. And for those of you who are watching, as you know, I'd be remiss if I don't let you know that we have the Success Club, right? Right behind me. You see it on the hat. The Success Club is geared towards helping our youth, whether it's high school and college students, create their personal success plan. We do not want you to navigate this life without a plan. If you're
Amen.
if you're creating a business, you need a business plan. So a lot of times we're ignoring our personal success plan. So, and also, if you're interested, definitely visit www.shopmcnulty.com and get how to become a successful young man and woman. Those books are here. The solutions are here for you to create your plan. And lastly, I touch on for adults, whether you're thinking that it's over, it's not over, right?
Right.
Grab Success Recovery, or young entrepreneurs or older entrepreneurs, grab 12 things entrepreneurs should pray for. I specifically created these materials to help all of you create your personal success plan and be successful. And we're here. Thank you again, Mitch.
You're welcome.
Man,
It's a pleasure. You know.
man. Well, we'll see y'all next time inside the boardroom, and y'all have a wonderful day. Take care.
All right.